Hello students, welcome to Gradebooster. Today our lesson is Gender, Caste and Religion from Social Studies. So this is an important lesson. In this particular lesson, we are going to discuss about the gender, caste and religion and their role in our politics. People often talk about these things: gender discrimination, caste discrimination and religious issues in social media and in newspapers. We see the news, people expressing their ideas about their problems, their caste problems, their gender problems and their religious problems. So in this particular lesson, we are going to understand whether these things are good or bad, correct or not. Should people talk about their caste? Should people talk about their religion? Should people talk about their gender problems or not? Should these things be allowed or not allowed in a democracy? So these are the things we are going to discuss in this chapter, right? So India has many social differences, especially three major differences: gender differences, caste differences and religious differences. Okay? But people, they can express their ideas, express their problems about what they are facing in that particular group, in that particular caste, in that particular gender, in that particular religion. They can express their ideas. It is not a bad thing or not a harmful thing to the democracy. So that is what given in here in this lesson. So in a democratic country, people have the right, they have the right to fight for their inequalities, whether it is a gender inequality or a caste discrimination or religious discrimination, unless until their fight or their expression is not violent. That means people peacefully, systematically, legally, they can express their ideas or opinions, or they can fight for their rights in a democracy. So if it is done in a peaceful way, if it is done in a proper way, if proper justice is done to their protest or whatever their expression, then it is a good democracy. It strengthens the democracy. Okay, it do not cause any harm to the democracy. It strengthens. It makes the democracy much more stronger. So what makes the democracy stronger? When people talk about or fight for their rights, okay, regarding the gender discrimination or caste discrimination or religious discrimination, if they fight in a proper and a peaceful way, and if it is taken properly by the government, and if proper justice is done, if it is dealt in a fair way, then it is a strong democracy, right? So the differences in the society, these differences, what are the differences? Gender differences, caste and religious differences. They do not harm the society unless until they are expressed in a different way. If they are expressed in a peaceful way and the actions are fair, it works well. Okay, talking about the needs in politics can make democracy stronger. In politics, they can talk about gender discrimination, caste and religious issues. They are to be discussed. Okay, right, children? So this is the introduction. See, people express their ideas. Here we can see some people are, there is some discrimination about the Dalits, that is the lower caste. So people are fighting for the rights of the Dalits. Here you can see one more picture. In this picture, some people which belong to upper caste, those who do not have any caste reservations, so they are protesting that we don't want reservations. So like that, people may have different needs regarding their particular gender, caste or religion, but they have a right to express in a proper way. So next, the first difference is gender division. We are going to talk about gender division. So what is gender division? Women and men. In a society, we have men and women. Right? We are taking that Indian context in Indian society, in Indian families. Right? Of course, your family may be different from your neighbor's family. The way the women and men treated in your family may be different. But in the textbook, they have conducted some surveys around the India, throughout the India. Based on the survey, they generalized these things. You may think that, okay, in my family, in my society, we respect women. It is not matching with the thing given in the textbook. It's not like. So the textbook thing is a generalized one. What is happening overall throughout, they considered everything. In some societies, this discrimination might not be there. In some families, it might not be there. But in some families, it might be there. But this is a general idea, children. Right? Overall, when we compare each and every part of India, when we summarize it, sum it up, whatever is there, that is given in the textbook. They have done the surveys for this. Some tables are also given in the textbook, okay, NCERT textbook. So gender division, women and men. Here what is happening? What is happening is that both men and women, both are equal when it comes to social life, when it comes to a society, when they come for work outside. But generally there is a notation, there is a fixed idea that women are little low, naturally or biologically. But it is naturally or biologically they are not low, they are not less in doing some task, in doing some work, but it's general idea, it is general expression. Okay, so from where does it comes? Why people think that women are little less? Okay, while assigning a job, men are prioritized than women. Why it is happening? It's because of social expectations and stereotype. So what is that stereotype? It's a fixed idea, low idea, okay, right? So fixed idea that they are little low. Because of this kind of thinking, the women are less valued in the society, right? So the gender roles at home and work. But if you see the roles of men and women, they do the household work mostly. People also expect that women do the household works, care of children. Generally, both the parents will have equal responsibility. Mother and father, they should take care of the child. But generally in the society, there is a fixed expectation that mother should take care of the child. That is mother's responsibility. Okay. Of course, even though father takes responsibility, more responsibility goes to mother. Okay. That is expectation from the women. So they have to do the household work and taking care of the children. Sometimes the women, they go out and do the outside jobs also. But when it comes to men, most of the men, they prefer to do the work which is paid outside, not in the house. Right? So women, they cook in the house for the family. And for this cooking work, nothing is paid. They are not paid for this work. But if a man does the same job, the same cooking in a restaurant outside as a chef, he is paid. So mostly the men used to do that outside work which is paid. Even though the work is similar, cooking is same. If it is done at home by women, it is not valid, it is not valued, nothing is paid for that. The same work is done in a restaurant by men, it is paid. See the difference. Okay. So the same work, the same type of work, it is not valued when it is done by women at home. So like this, the work done by the women is not valued when compared to the work done by the men. So men do outside jobs. Mostly they prefer outside jobs. They also can do the household work, but they do outside for a payment. Women also work outside. Women, they are doing the household work. You see, most of the women are going out for shops, offices, Okay, for schools as teachers and all, they are doing jobs. But what happens in the society when they come for work outside? Are they paid equally with men? No. See, if it is a labor work, people has to carry the bricks or sand or something. If two people go for the work, one man and one woman, so the person who hire them gives different wages. For men, if he gives 1000 rupees per day, for women he gives some 800 or 700, 300 less. But in fact, the work, the physical work that is done by both men and women will be equal. You see here in this picture, the women carrying lots of weights on their heads. Okay, it doesn't mean that they are weak or they do less physical work compared to men. So they do lot of physical work, but the work is not valued equally with the work done by men. Such kind of differences are existing when it comes to the job or work, home and work. Right, children? So these things are given clearly in the textbook. So I am giving you that idea about this topic, the gender division, gender roles at home and work. So next topic is women's struggles and movements. Women, they struggled a lot for their rights. They were not given equal rights with men. If you take that pre-independent era, British Raj, when British were ruling, so earlier in the beginning, when the voting was started, only men were given the chance to vote, not women. That means they were not allowed into the direct politics to take the decisions. So later somehow, they fought for their voting rights and they were given rights. But earlier they were denied. Okay. So only men could vote and contest in elections. Women fought for their rights. Here in this picture you can see that during that pre-independent era, that time the Indian women were fighting. Okay, they were protesting on the roads for their rights. So they are fighting. They are fighting still for some rights. You can see that the protests by women groups. They are fighting for equal rights. That is one. And two, education. 3, jobs. And 4, political power. Political power. Okay. So in politics also they want their share, they want some seats reserved for them, they want some places, some ministries, okay. So some role in the governance. But still in case of India, it is not fully, women, they could not get their rights completely and their place, they could not get it completely in case of Indian, scenario, right. So these struggles are called, whatever the struggles that are faced, and whatever the protests that are done by the women are called feminist movements. Feminist movements. Here we can see a feminist movement. Women are fighting for their rights. Usually for what they are fighting? Equal rights with men, education, jobs and political power. So is there any progress achieved from these fights? They are fighting, okay. Is there any progress achieved? Yes, achieved, right? So the women, they started fighting for their rights. Some progress is achieved. What is that now? Women working as doctors, engineers, lawyers, managers, teachers, etc. We see women everywhere in India. Now they are coming out, taking up all the different type of jobs, and now they are taking very challenging jobs. So there is an impression that only men can do certain type of jobs. Women are not fit certain types of jobs. But that stereotype is broken. People used to have a fixed impression that only men can do certain types of jobs. Women are not fit for some challenging jobs. Like, for example, Air Force pilot. But this stereotype, it was broken by some people. Some of the women, they have taken very challenging jobs. First, women pilot of Indian Air Force. So fighter jet, she could take that fighter jet. So in such a way, women have come to take up the challenging jobs. So that is the progress achieved in India by the feminist movements, or by the progress, or by the girls or women taking a lead in education and coming to various fields. So in some countries, of course in India now we are seeing that women are coming to take different types of jobs. They're taking different positions, higher positions. They're taking lead of many things, many organizations. But in some countries, Nordic countries like Sweden, Norway and Finland, women's participation was very high. Long back, they were given very high priority in the society, in the government, in making policies, in giving positions to them, right? So these countries, Sweden, Norway and Finland. So the women participated highly in the public life compared to other countries, but even now India is in very low or least position compared to other countries when it comes to prioritizing women in government or governance. So now the next one is challenges in India. Let's see what are the challenges. Okay, so there are so many challenges. The first one is low literacy rate. The literacy rate is very low, only 54% women when compared to 76% men. So men literacy rate is 76, women is 54. Why? Because the girl child is stopped going to school, high school or college. Because if the parents are having a girl and a boy child, they used to invest on the boy child's education rather than a girl child. Because their idea is that they'll marry the girl child and the boy child, he has to get the education, job, and he has to take care of that family. So whatever the reason may be, but what's happening is that the girl children, most of the girl children, they are denied this higher education. They are not getting the facility of getting the higher education, college education or high school education. Okay, only few girls go to high school, higher studies, high schools and colleges. Women do more work but get less pay. Even though there is an act called Equal Remuneration Act 1976, there is an act. Both women and men should be given equal wages. Even though that act is there, in most of the workplaces, women are given less compared to men. I already told you that if men are given 1000 rupees a day, women will be given some 700 or 800, that's all. Little less, even though they do the same kind of work, same quantity of work. And next, sex selective abortions, that is also one of the challenge. In many communities, the people think that the girl child is a burden to the family. So whatsoever the reason is, when the baby is in the fetus stage, they get it aborted. Okay? So it is a very inhumane act. Because of these acts, the sex ratio is disturbed. That means if you take one particular state, for every 1000 men, 1000 women are not there. It is not equally maintained. The balance is not maintained. If you take 1000, if for 1000 men in a particular area, the number of women are less than 1000, the ratio is disturbed here. The number of women is comparatively less than men. So that we can see in this map, here we can see in this India map, the light colored are below 875. For every 1000 men, only 875 and below 875 women are there. You see this place Punjab, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, okay, and even the neighboring countries, you can see that Bhutan, Bangladesh. So only in these areas, Chhattisgarh and West Bengal, Kerala, in some places we see 950 and above, but overall it is less, whatever the state you take. So sex ratio is disturbed, child sex ratio, less girls than boys. That is the challenge in India. And next challenge is violence and harassment against women at home. Violence and harassment at women at home and even at outside, even at colleges, harassment to the girls, college going girls, attempt of rapes, and even at the workplaces, sexual abuses, when they go to work, offices, in the workplaces. All these are happening in India. So the government has to take action, should make good policies to protect the rights of the women. So once these challenges are overcome, then even women can have that equal rights with men, right? So we can see that one more challenge, the violence and harassment. 50 million women are missing in South Asia. Okay, so this is all because of this violence against the women. Women are missing, right? So women trafficking is also another issue. So these are the challenges. These are the challenges for this women in our Indian society. Here we can see women in national parliaments in different regions of this world. So that is, see that already I told you in one point that in Nordic countries, Sweden, Netherlands, Norway, in these countries, the women are given high priority. You see in the Nordic countries, 42.3, whereas you come to India, 11.8. Even Arab states, the participation of women in national parliament is more, even in Europe, in America, okay, even in Africa and Asia, when it is compared, India is less. Okay, so this graph is also there in the textbook, you can see. So these are the challenges. So this is about the gender discrimination in Indian society. So in the next video, we're going to see about the religion and caste differences. Right children, if you like this video, please give it a like and please subscribe to Gradebooster channel and please share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. Please like the video. Please share this video with your friends. Please subscribe to Gradebooster channel. Press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Check the description to find links of other useful videos. Check the end screens for our new videos.